And welcome back to Let's Play E7. Last time, we got the medicine for Maya's Iskin fever, though unfortunately, no cure is forthcoming at this point. Aisha is hoping to find a way to treat Iskin fever more permanently by going about Altago, learning about the country, and hopefully uncovering some things about what has been plaguing it recently. In addition to the Iskin fever, there is also, of course, the rampant Titano attacks. Before heading out, we want to head to the castle just to get an extra scene and some extra dialogue, because why not? Now, if you come here before Adol and Dogi get informed that Aisha is a princess, you get a slightly different version of the dialogue where they just act bemused at her reluctance to enter the palace, and Dogi is doing exactly what I would be doing in this situation. It's a little funny. But yes, anytime you have Aisha with you, she will not enter the castle with you. She will just duck out so her ruse is not exposed. Yep. And, of course, we can visit the various political figures here, talk to the Dragon Knights, who are really lamenting their inability to detect the intruder. Based on what they are telling us, Sius was the only one who was able to catch the intruder. Must be a pretty skilled guy if only one person could figure him out. Heading in here, we can find General Dryson. He seems to have regressed a little bit in his opinion of Adol. Oh, no idea. Well, I know who it is, but Adol and Dogi don't. And yes, at this point, the blockades leading to Kylos have been cleared. Hey, King, your fit of Iskin fever seems to have died down a bit. Yeah. Although, is there any evidence that he's a Roman operative? Well, guess that's just something they're gonna have to figure out for themselves. Heading over this way. Let's see, we have got a bedroom here. Nobody there, though. And heading over this way. Just a little conference room. But again, nothing really to note of over here. There's just one other person that we can visit while in the castle at this point. Heading over to the military barracks section, or I suppose the military offices. Heading to the final room at the end here. Hey, it's Rod. I like how petulant he gets here, but yeah, that's the extent of who we can talk to. You don't need to talk to anybody here, nor do you need to see Aisha freaking out about entering the castle, but it's just a little bit extra to do, and it's not anything that takes too long. Let's go pick up Aisha. One thing I'd like to note is that at this point, we're actually, as you can see by our money, we can easily get large amounts of money at this point, and this is where you might want to think about investing in some of the Zanzibar firm items. In particular, I'm going to be investing in lucky metals very soon, because we're going to be hitting to a point where we really want to be getting the rare materials that we can get, that the lucky metals will also allow us to much more easily obtain. Affecting material gathering points is the main function of lucky metals. I don't know if they actually affect enemy drops or things that you can steal from enemies, and we'll get into stealing from enemies when we're able to do that later. I'm not sure if having lucky metals gets you rare materials off of that, but it certainly can't hurt, especially if you're doing a lot of gathering anyway. To get to Kylos Gorge, we of course have to hit this way, just gathering some iron ore here. Even though we've done the big expenditure at this point for iron ore, which is getting a blue jewel, you still want tons of iron ore. There's more iron ore over here. Anytime you see ore deposits, always go for them to get iron ore. Tons of equipment in the late game require iron ore, and often in pretty sizable amounts, which is pretty annoying. Getting this chest here is a Marula incense, but it is not something we can get at this point. Ow. I think you can come by here a bit earlier. That's a bit of an outdated treasure for us. Over this way. Jeez, I am getting destroyed by these guys. Get a Sally Mara extract here. I'm doing so bad. Just, I meant to use a Tumble Arrow. At this point, it's a good idea to start spamming Tumble Arrow with Aisha to get her damage up a little bit. In the upcoming dungeon, there's going to be a lot of Pierceweak enemies, and Aisha can help a lot with Tumble Arrows there, if they are sufficiently powerful. And now we are able to formally enter the Kylos Gorge. A lot of new enemies here. You want to make sure you have the best equipment possible when coming into here, because these enemies are rather tough, and if you are going in with underpowered weapons, they will be fairly resistant to your damage. And of course, they also hit pretty hard, so good idea to have your armor up to date. Let me just make sure. I want to equip Aisha with the training ring. Again, like my previous videos, I've already made a save file, but just to demonstrate what the ideal loadouts are here. At this point, I already have enough shales to synthesize more training rings, but I don't have enough monster bristles. Those firebirds in the Flame Shrine drop monster bristles, but they have a very low drop rate for it, so we're actually going to get those here, as we are going to be coming across an enemy that has a much higher drop rate. These guys right here, they will always start with a charging attack, and then they will just jump at you to do damage. The jump has this really wonky hitbox that doesn't hit consistently at all. These guys are just kind of weird to fight. They're also pretty durable. For some reason, I'm always bad at timing my flash guards on that. Flash guarding in general is just really inconsistent and wonky in this game. I have a hard time doing it on a lot of enemies. These guys, there we go. Let's dodge out of the way, get out of the residual damage. As you can see, at the end of that attack, it looks like it's still active, but the hitbox kind of like dissipates on it halfway through. A lot of the enemies here drop thick hides. Those pterodactyl enemies that we saw, they drop thin hides. You may have also noticed from that ore deposit, we got an ashen rock. That is the unique material, or the unique ore for this area, and the final one we need to collect to complete Michael Wooten's lectures on the tribes of Alpago. As these pterodactyls drop thin hides, you want 10 of those, and preferably as many as you can get off of them, as there's a few synthesis recipes coming up that will require them. And of course, we want to get more ore here, iron ore, and hopefully a lot of ashen rocks. A lot of the equipment available to purchase, or rather synthesize, in Kylos Village, very good, and we want as many ashen rocks as possible. Plus, at this point in the game, ashen rocks will actually allow us to synthesize the equipment that has the highest return on sale value, so definitely want to get those. Over here, we've got new fruits to get, so of course, new seeds to get. Honestly, I kind of find it odd that there isn't a quest for collecting fruits, just the seeds. There are Cheagle fruits. Of course, we also want the Cheagle seeds, so we can turn them into Belinda. But I've already got a handful of those in my pre-made file, so we will utilize that. Heading down this way, we want to take out more of these pterodactyls, hopefully get as many thin hides as possible. For the quest that we need thin hides for, we just need 10, the standard amount, but of course we need considerably more for synthesis. Here, we get Nadley flowers, and hey, a Nadley seed. Of course, this allows us to complete Belinda's quest, and allows us to complete that flower quest from the lady whose name I can't remember that we got in Seagram. You may also probably figure there is another piece of or wood type to get here, and yes, you'd be correct in thinking that. It is also the final wood variety that we need to get to complete Chris's quest in Shinoa, so that will we'll be able to do quite a bit of quest roundup at the end of this video, particularly because now that we can teleport, we can just quickly get back to locations and turn in those quests. These ram, billy goat-esque, they're like a cross between billy goats and yaks. Weird fauna. It's like a animal from Avatar: The Last Airbender. But these guys have a pretty good odds of dropping monster bristles, though of course they didn't drop any right here. But they are your best source of monster bristles at this point, so you want to kill a lot of them if you want to synthesize training rings. And let me see here, just keeping an eye on my video time here. We'll take this guy out, and then we'll just go on our way to the next point of interest. Heading out through here, get into another section of the gorge. Like I said, we want to kill a lot of those yak goats, but we are just in a hurry to get to the next interesting thing, so we'll save that for later. Here is our first wood gathering spot. As always, you want 10 pieces of wood to complete the wood gathering quest. I forget if there's another quest coming up that requires them, but it's not too difficult to get a decent supply of them. You may have noticed we haven't come across any more monuments yet. Unfortunately, the monument in Kylos Gorge, there's only one, and it's right at the end of the gorge, right in front of the Kylos village, so that's kind of annoying. It can be a little hard to, or not hard, but a little time-consuming to get to specific places within the gorge. Heading over this way, we've got another variety of the ogre enemy. This guy is different from the one we fought in the Flame Shrine, as you'd expect. He, in addition to dropping large bones, he can actually drop ashen rocks, which is very handy. So these guys are pretty good to kill if you want to get a good supply of large bones and ashen rocks. Granted, that's a bit easier to do later in the game when we're able to steal stuff. Of course, later in the game there will be other enemies that we can also steal this from. Hey, you got the Ashen Rock there. There we go, that guy finally dropped a Monster Bristle. And here we get a Titano Spine for advancing another one of Michael Wooten's lectures, so I'll probably save that for when we actually have the final Titano item to fully complete the lecture, but we will be turning in the Ashen Rock as soon as possible. Now, once we head out this pathway back out onto the gorge, whoops, looking for load, we will be accosted by our next mini-boss fight. So let's load up our pre-made file here and just get out there. You know, that visual effect from the ice crystal is bugging me. I was messing around in the Flame Shrine to see if I could get some monster bristles, and that's how I determined that, no, the drop rates are pretty low. So let's head out into here, and soon as we step out just a little bit, as expected, it's Adol. And of course, as expected, if you played the previous Ys game, it's Geiss. Geiss was introduced in Ys 6 as something of a rival adventurer character to Adol. Of course, he's inexplicably very powerful, despite the various trials that Adol had been through. Adol just keeps running into people that are stronger than him. But yes, Geiss was a major character in Ys 6, and like I said, introduced as a rival character to Adol, but somewhat ironically, this game came out, in 2010, and since then, Geiss has not made a major appearance in the series at all. I hear he has a cameo in the ending of Ys 9, but otherwise, this is the last time Geiss really meant anything. But, as you'd expect, Geiss is rather annoyed that Adol is here, once again stealing his glory. He wants to have a duel. I'm guessing he's got a Dragon Energy poleaxe now. Alright, let's go for it. Yep, these two knuckleheads want to do a duel. So yes, we've got the soul... Well, actually not the soul, but we've got a duel boss in this game. And Adol is by himself. Got to take on Geiss. Geiss is not terribly hard. He has a relatively simplistic attack pattern. He doesn't hit too hard. This is much easier than the duel featured in Memories of Celsida with another major character. But, of course, since I'm recording, I may screw this up a bit. His most basic attack, let's just get to him, he does this combo. We'll hit him with oh dear. Yeah, I'm trying to explain this, and of course I'm messing it up. He can do that lunge attack there. It's not too dangerous. After he does that combo, that's a good opportunity to hit him with a charge attack. He can do that spin there, and he's got one other attack. Spin, and he can throw out projectiles. So, we want to flash guard him. Alright, wait for that final hit, and we'll hit him with Lunar Blade. Do some really good damage to him. Check this out. Yeah, there goes his health bar. I have the Power Wrist 2 on Adol here, so he does the most damage. Blue Jewel is another option if you want to go for that. Alright, one, yes! Hit him with Earth Shakers, and put him stunned. Now we just nail him with Strength Blast, burn through a bunch of his health. Oh dear. And I get through this without using any healing items. Running Slash is also another way to get in damage really good without worrying about eating much in return. And as you can see, you can easily just kite around him and avoid his attacks pretty easily like that, and we've defeated him without using any healing items, even though I ate a bunch of bad damage there. You do not need to defeat Geiss to move on here. This is not a fight you have to win. If Geiss defeats you, he just admonishes Adol for his weakness and then goes about his business with a the scene progressing in a similar way at this point. And yes, Adol has been chosen. By what, though? Who knows? We're going to assume dragons. Dragons are cool. Oh, Aisha, you're so vicious. Cut him right to the bone, why don't you? If by history you mean he was in one other game, then yes, they have a history. Luckily, Dogi is on the up and up here. He is putting 2 and 2 together right now. Way to dodge the question. Oh yeah, you know it, friend. Yeah, we're kind of stealing your glory right now, Geiss. No biggie. Alright, sounds good. I wonder what he's implying by that. Oh, Aisha, you're so irritable. Yeah, what exactly was his goal there? Well, we can safely assume it has something to do with the altars, but Geiss is the somewhat taciturn type, so he's not going to reveal too much more to us than that. We'll just have to deal with him later. For now, we should get to Kylos and actually take his advice and meet the Eldris. Here, we've got another wood gathering point. Hopefully I can get the rest of the the withered hardwood that I need. 2, 3... 4. Okay, yeah, this should be more than enough. So that'll be enough to turn to Chris. I believe I got 6 off screen, so yeah, that'll help us out there. Let's hit this guy down. Open this chest right here. And get a Natalie extract, but of course I can't collect it. Yeah, the low item caps can be pretty annoying in this game when you're just trying to grab all the treasure. I didn't mention it there, but defeating Geiss in his duel nets you an achievement, so if you're going for all the achievements in the Steam version of this game, you gotta defeat Geiss. Fortunately, like many of the achievements in this game, it's fairly easy to obtain if you just play the game on easy mode, where, you know, he's a complete wimp and you can just tear right through him. On easy mode, not only do you hit harder while the enemies don't hit nearly as hard, they have way less HP, so you can tear through them in very short order. I should have tried to see if you could just defeat him with a single lunar blade in easy mode. That'd be pretty funny. Let's just take this guy out. Like I said, we want to collect as many iron ore and ashen rock as possible, and this guy will interfere with that quite a bit. Okay, let's do our gathering here. And good, good, good. Alright, we're actually getting close to the Kylos village once we get over that bridge. Let's just head this way real quick. There is nothing too important over here, but as you can see, got another one of these sigils here that we don't know what to do with yet. There is actually a second thing you want to remember that room for, so keep it in mind. It'll become important for a quest that we have to do later. Heading up this way. Ooh, actually that wall right there. Let's just take out these yak goats here. Earthshaker does pretty good. Man, though, it would be nice if we had more Tier 3 skills. It would be cool to see what Adol can do. Break this rock right here, get an Indigo Wing Bangle. Indigo Wing Bangle. Oof, boy. Sorry for my terrible, terrible speech impediment. That is an upgraded bracelet that either Aisha or Doki can equip. Aisha is the smarter choice for it, since she has the lower natural defense stat by a mile, and much less HP. But we have made it. This is the village of Kylos, situated high within the Kylos Gorge, and very much a place that takes advantage of the crosswinds going over the gorge. As you can see, they are very focused on windmills in this village. More importantly than that, though... Well, of course, we've got dialogue here. Yeah, definitely. Well, a cool place to see. Certainly cool for a PSP game. Oh, Aisha, don't be so judgmental. We do have to meet the Eldris first. Maybe she'll say something that, collaborates what Geiss said. Aisha, you're getting a little distracted. Let's be objective here. Not exactly sure how old Aisha is supposed to be. She's definitely older than Elk, since she's considerably taller than him, but other than that, it's kind of vague. We don't even know how old Elk is. But now that we're here, we can quickly get back to Kylos Village, so let's warp around and do some quest roundup. First off, we want to go talk to Chris Goyen in Shinoa and turn in the final variety of wood to complete his quest. Here is the final bit of wood. Withered hardwood. This is some quality stuff here. But he recognizes quality when he sees it, so he gives us a pretty tidy sum of gold for our troubles. And we get a Shimmer Brooch 2. This increases, oh man, what? This one increases agility by 30. But I don't care about that, I'm just gonna sell it. It actually sells for quite a bit, actually. I believe it is 5,000 that it sells for. And we have completed that quest. But of course, there are more quests yet for us to complete. Let's head back to Altago City. Now that we've got a considerable number of monuments activated, you may have noticed that blue monuments are located inside wild areas and within dungeons, while there are light green monuments for towns. So that's how you can differentiate monuments just at a glance. And, of course, we've got more seeds for Belinda to turn in. This will complete this quest and actually give us a very unique accessory, so... she is actually quite interested in the Natalie seeds, since these are far from anything that she's ever heard about. Well, you'd think Maya would have clued her in since she gave out Natalie flowers. I don't get why that name is so awful, but okay. Now, the gold is not the reason you do this quest. For doing this quest, she gives us an extraordinarily unique accessory, the Fortune Orb. What does this do? Well, let's just throw it on and see real quick. Beautiful flower seeds, completed. So, let us equip the Fortune Orb, and as you can see, allows the wearer to gain experience simply by walking. So, let's see, Adel there has 1762. Let's just walk around a little bit. Bring up the camp menu again. Now it's 1732. Now, one thing to note, let's just dodge around a little bit. Dodge around this hole. Oh, well, probably because I walked a little bit, but when you dodge roll, that does not actually advance it. You specifically have to walk to get EXP off the Fortune Orb, as you can see there. So, yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Now, honestly, the Fortune Orb gets you experience very, very slowly, and you can't dodge roll around while it's equipped, so it's not that great for leveling up, but it is a source of experience that you can get independent of this game's experience scaling. I haven't really gone over this too much, but the game does scale experience downward once you outlevel enemies. Enemies have their own levels, and once you surpass them, they give considerably less experience, to the point where they eventually don't give any at all. The Fortune Orb gets around this, so if you want to level up past the intended levels for areas, the Fortune Orb helps out quite a bit with that. Talking to Michael Wooten here, we can show him an Ashen Rock. Uh-huh. Alright, tell us about the Kylosians. Uh-huh. Yeah, it is not an easy place to go to, especially if you get attacked by a mercenary with a halberd. That said, though, if they don't trade too much with outside areas, that means there's probably going to be considerable demand for what they have to offer. Interesting. Well, that is actually quite interesting to know about. I'm kind of curious to see what kind of person the Eldris is. And we get a Scroll of Mastery for completing this quest. Another unique accessory here. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, we heard about that. I wonder what caused those tribes to die out. But yes, since there are only 3 active tribes he can confirm anything about, the quest is completed here. No more materials to turn into him. The Scroll of Mastery, as you can see, increases our natural crit rate. So with this scroll equipped, you can get critical hits more often outside of flash guarding, which once we hit a certain point and get powerful enough equipment and level up enough, that might actually be a lot more valuable than the stat bonuses that power risks can provide to you, since critical hits, as you've noticed, do considerably more damage than just your standard hits. And if you can get more of those randomly, that's a pretty powerful ability to have. Heading into Seagram, of course, we've got more flowers to turn in. Hey, we've got some Nadley flowers. I made sure to collect enough flowers off-screen so that we can just complete this quest right away. Yeah, definitely. Very valuable, especially for their ability to synthesize Nadley extracts. And Sarah Stewart's quest is complete with those 4 flowers. Very easy quest to complete since you have most of them when you first get here. And we get a flash ring too. I've gone over flash rings, they're very terrible. Don't bother with them. This is just free money, really. So, yeah, we get a bit of an insight into what she wanted these ingredients for, but that is that quest completed. Let's take a look at our quest log and see what we've got outstanding. Of course, we've got the Waters of Altago, which we will get the final piece of or bit of water we need to complete that in the next dungeon. We've got Jewel Collection, which, again, we'll get the final jewel we need within the next dungeon. And we'll go for a hat trick here. Titano Ecology, the final Titano material we need is in the next dungeon. So yeah, we'll be able to completely fill out our quests. But there are 2 more for us to collect in Kylos also. One that's available right now, so let's just grab that real quick. There is, of course, also a store at Kylos. Let's just take a quick look at what they've got for us. See if I can't liquidate some items and get some new stuff here. They, of course, have the equipment we were able to purchase within Altago, but also a new weapon here, the Prayer Staff. Interesting. Of course, we've got upgraded armor here, which absolutely, you want to buy some new armor. The upcoming dungeon has some very, very damaging enemies in it if you are not up to date. And we can now buy Cheagle extracts. These are the upgraded revival item, recovers 300 HP. Can also buy Sabrina incenses now. Accessories still well below what we were able to get from side quests. Speaking of that, let's just liquidate some of our accessories here. I'll hang on to the powers for now. Sell that Shimmer Brooch too, and we'll keep the rest of this stuff. These accessories here, Gavel of Souls, Scroll of Mastery, Fortune Orb, one of a kind, so absolutely don't sell them unless you're very certain you'll never make use of them. In here, we can synthesize some new equipment once we have enough Ashen Rocks. Of course, we got the Gaudy Dagger here, which teaches Sword Dance, a Tier 3 skill for Adol, so we'll definitely want to get that once we're able to. Can synthesize Genna for Dogi, which also teaches another Tier 3 skill, Blaster Kick. And there is the Orculobo for Aisha. This teaches Hydro Shot, which is an okay skill. And otherwise, of course, we've got bracelets to synthesize with Ashen Rocks. Not that much of a price point upgrade over the copper bracelet, but still sells for more once we have a good supply of Ashen Rocks. Need to get those monster bristles so I can make training rings. Otherwise, that's all there is to remark on in here. Can't synthesize anything yet, but we do have enough money to buy new armor, so let's do that. Get a White Wing armor for Adol, a Silhouette Guard for Dogi, and of course a Dazzle Robe for Aisha. Get a Banded Shield. Shields are pretty nice because they give very minor boosts to your strength. And an Indigo Wing Vangle for Dogi, and we got one for free for Aisha. Now, I do want to hang on to my armor for the purpose of leveling up skills if I desire to, but or not armor, my weapons. But your armor, that can always just be sold off. You never need armor for anything past once it's outdated, so you can always sell off your armor. Make sure to do so. Get a decent chunk of your money back for what you spent on it. And I believe no, it's not this room, though do remember that room for later. I'm trying to think. I think where we get our quest here is in here. Jonathan Lee, eh? Oh, you need materials, huh? Hides and feathers. It's not that ridiculous. He's got a pretty normal haircut. It's just red. 10 monster downs, eh? Alright, So, this is Jonathan Lee's Windmill repair quest, Milling the Wind. He needs a series of 10 materials. I should have the overwhelming majority of those materials already. He needs Monster Downs, which are the most common feather material from avian-type enemies. So, let's just turn those in. Next up, he needs 10 Thick Hides, which we got plenty of from fighting those ramming monsters in the Kylos Gorge. Yeah, no problem. If you want to know ahead of time everything that he needs, you can ask him to go over the materials, but of course I've played this game plenty of times before, so I know what he wants. I got 10 Thin Hides exactly. Thin Hides are a little annoying to get because those pterodactyls are only open right at the entrance of the Kylos Gorge, very far away from the monument here. And monster feathers, which, again, I made a point to collect while we were in Seagram Desert, since we could get those really easily there. And with that, that is actually everything he needs to repair the windmill. For doing so, we get a Scroll of Valor. Another unique accessory. We're getting so many of them this part. Alright. Based on his dialogue there, this is actually an item from General Dryson himself. Interesting. Let's take a look at what that does for us. The Scroll of Valor increases your attack strength when your HP is low. Also, a lesser-known thing, as you can see from the difference there, it also gives a natural attack power of 5. So, yeah, I've never really bothered with that one, so I'm not sure how much of an effect it has, but I can't say that getting a Death's Door for an attack power boost is a particularly good idea in this game, so I wouldn't recommend going for it. But that is all the business we need to take care of within Kylos for right now. We can just go see the Eldris and hopefully get directed towards the Wind Altar. But we will save that for the next video. Let us save our progress in the game here, and call it a video. As always, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, goodbye.